Well, I think you have to really look at what's going on here. To me, it's not so much a grenade. I think what President Biden realized was that Hunter Biden was going to be in the target of Donald Trump's retribution. And if he went through the criminal justice system and continued, was sentenced to prison, which he very well could have been sentenced on the tax case for a period of time, he then would be at the mercy of Donald Trump's Justice Department and Bureau of Prisons. And this would have given Donald Trump the opportunity to do what they did to his former attorney, Michael Cohen, where they put him in solitary confinement, where when he was released to go home because of the COVID epidemic, he was put back into prison again out of spite to keep him from publishing a book. So I think what's really going on here is if Joe Biden had actually won not Joe Biden, but Harris had won the election, I don't think there would be a pardon. But I don't think he really trusts a Justice Department that's headed by Pam Bondi, Donald Trump's two defense lawyers from New York, and Kash Patel, who is going to be the FBI director, to give anybody a fair shake in the system. And for that reason, I think that is why he ultimately decided to pardon his son.
Well, okay, so you're answering one of the questions that I have been asking Nick Akerman. It's these appointments that made the difference. When the Biden family sat down for Thanksgiving on Nantucket, they had the big family conversation. That's what was different. And then you add Kash Patel over the weekend, and Joe Biden started writing this pardon. Is that how it went in your mind?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, look, what would you do if it was your son and you knew that the guy who was going to be president next had already threatened retribution against you and your son, the very son that Donald Trump sent Rudy Giuliani halfway across the world to Ukraine to try and dig up dirt on him, and absolutely got nothing, but went to those lengths and has already threatened retribution against the Bidens. What would you do under these circumstances, knowing that the Justice Department was going to be totally manned by political hacks who are answerable to Donald Trump?
I'm going to ask you about some of these appointments because I'm really curious to get your take. Joe Biden wrote, though, and I just want to get your take as a former prosecutor. He wrote in his statement, "No reasonable person who looks at the facts of Hunter's cases can reach any other conclusion than Hunter was singled out only because he is my son. And that is wrong," he said. "In trying to break Hunter, they've tried to break me." Now, clearly this is personal for Joe Biden, but what does the prosecutor in you say when you read that?
Well, there's a little bit of truth here. First of all, as to the gun violation, no one is ever prosecuted for that by itself. It's always in connection with something with drugs or some other act. When you have something here where Hunter Biden had the gun for only 10 days, never did anything with it, it really does raise a question as to whether or not he would have ever been prosecuted, but for the fact he was the son of the president. As to the tax violations, even that raises some issues. Don't forget, during that period of time where he didn't report income, he was a drug addict. He later paid back all of the tax it was due and owing. Pretty unusual for the Department of Justice to prosecute somebody under those circumstances. Not totally, though, out of the ordinary. But again, it does raise a question as to whether or not, if he were not the son of the president, that he would not have been prosecuted for these tax violations. So there is some truth to that. We don't really know the answer to it, but it's not off the wall, put it that way.